Over the past few years, I've actually gone and advised over 112 clients going offshore, right? Structures, residency, private banking, fintech solutions, iGaming solutions, the whole job lot. And in that time, I have noticed something. The same mistakes over and over again. Doesn't matter if somebody has hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash flow per month, or if they're sitting on tens of $1 million, right? The mistakes are almost the same 5 things. So today I'm going to give you to you straight, with no fluff, just the 5 mistakes and exactly how you can avoid them. So mistake number 1, okay, I would say is moving first, structuring second. This is a big one, okay? And it almost causes the most damage, unfortunately, and it's the most common one which I see. Someone decides they want to go offshore. They pick a country, Dubai, Thailand, Portugal. They move there, they start living their life, then 6 months later, they come to me and say, right, now I want to sort out my structure. And the problem by that point, decisions have already been made that they can't easily be unmade. They've signed a lease, they've opened a local bank account, they've been invoicing clients from a personal account in a new country, they've potentially already triggered tax residency somewhere they didn't even intend to, or we'll move on to mistake number 2, kept their old one by accident, okay? And the problem is, by that point, it's just so awkward to move things. It's easier to do it all at once, you know, and work with a team that actually helps you. And the structure has to come before the move. The sequence is decide on the structure, establish it properly, and then relocate into it, not the other way around. And as I just mentioned, mistake number 2, and this one sounds obvious, right? And I've had clients who generally believe that they've gone offshore, they live in the UAE, they have a Dubai company, they have foreign bank accounts, right? They're spending all the time abroad, but they still have a house in the UK. They're still going back for 2 to 3 months a year. They still have kids in British schools. Their UK test would declare them a UK tax resident, equivalent as we've seen in Australia with the ATO, even worse, Germany, and most of Europe, you know, that person is still a tax resident at home. Every penny is still taxable and they never even renounce their tax residence, right? And the offshore setup is essentially a decorative figure. It's like a bauble on a bloody Christmas tree. So going offshore means actually leaving. A clean break, the day counts have been respected, and the home country ties have been cut off. If you haven't done that properly, everything built that you've done is built on sand, okay? So that's key. The next one is, mistake number 3, is the wrong entity for their business. I saw recently a UK LLP for somebody who lives in Bali. It just makes no sense, okay? Not every offshore entity is right for every business. And I see people get this wrong constantly. A Seychelles IBC sounds exotic and cheap, and it is cheap, and it's cheap for a reason. It's also virtually unbankable. Yes, we have fintech solutions for the Seychelles IBCs. I've had Seychelles IBCs myself, and the banking cost me a fortune, you know? So try opening a serious corporate account with a Seychelles company. You're going to become under lots of difficulty, especially if you don't work with companies such as myself, okay? So at the end of the day, look at Singapore, look at Hong Kong, then see how far you get with the banking story, you know? A UAE free zone company is excellent for certain things, but completely wrong for others. A BVI company is the best holdco in the entire world, but one of the worst trading entities, right? You know? Even if you need VAT registration for EU market access, you're going to have a problem, you know? The entity has to fit into the business model. Secondly is, where are your clients? Where are your suppliers? What banking do you actually need? Okay? What does your industry require? The answer to those determines generally where you would then set up your business, and that's how we work with you on a one-on-one basis when we consult you. You know, it's not what sounds good. It's not what someone on Facebook group or TikTok recommended. It's the actual operation requirements of the business, okay? Mistake number 4, we've already touched on it, is ignoring your home country exit. Okay, this can be the most dangerous one yet, particularly with Australia, but we have seen a lot of countries introduce these exit tax rules. If you leave, you trigger a deemed disposal of your assets. Capital gains crystallize their way out the door. Germany's brutal for this. Brutal. Australia has its own versions. The UK now has specific rules around going offshore transfers and pre-departure planning. Okay? If you don't plan your exit from your home country as carefully as you plan your arrival to your new one, you can create tax wipes that can change your life. I've seen this happen before. It is very painful. Okay? It's completely avoidable with the right advice before you go, not after. Okay? And then the final mistake is treating offshore as a one-time thing, and it's always probably the most important. People treat going offshore like it's a project with an end date. They set up a structure, they tick all the boxes, they move on, and 2 years later, regulations change, their personal situation changes, and they move to a different country. They start a new business, and nobody has looked at whether this structure still fits into it. We see clients move to Cyprus, to British Virgin Island companies. It's just not allowed, Moving back to the UK with your UAE businesses and your BVI structure over here, it's just not okay. Okay, HMRC will be scrutinizing that structure. Okay, so offshore planning is not a project. It is a system. It needs to be well maintained, reviewed, updated. I'd say yearly, but potentially every half. Okay, your structure at 30 should not be identical to your structure at 40. Regulations change, you change, business changes. You have to keep up to date. It's alive in itself, right? And that's why trusts can be so fantastic with such great admin teams around them as well. Okay, so again, you might want to move your kids back to the UK. You might want to go back to Switzerland, right? The clients I see who get the most long-term value from offshore arrangements are those who treat it like a living being, because they are. Okay, annual reviews, coordinated advisors, ongoing attention. That's why we offer yearly retainers at HPT Group. The ones who get in trouble is those who set and forget, right? So there they are. There's 5 mistakes. Across 112 clients, I've seen 40% of these clients touch on these mistakes. Move first, structure second, not actually leaving home, wrong entity for wrong business, ignoring the exit tax, and treating offshore like a one-time project, right? If you're going offshore or you've already gone offshore and you're not sure your current setup is correct and you want to double check, we can obviously help you do that again. That's exactly the type of things we do when we have clients at HPT Group. We don't accept all clients. Again, we're not in massive demand, but we have a lovely client book, a lovely income for myself, and I love working with a lot of you guys, especially those who have come from YouTube. We've had so many great people come from YouTube. Over 30, 40 clients, and that's why I still make these YouTube videos. And I really hope we do connect, but potentially we might not work with you. We are pretty selective in who we work with. If you're living in the UK and want to set up an offshore company, we would not help you do that. If you would like to relocate and help with your exit, we'll happily work with the UK tax advisors, your UK accountant, and then those new parties as well. We are the coordination hub between it all, taking the edge off your plate. So, other than that, guys, love you and leave you, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheerio.